Permit me to lead the debate on this very important bill titled Terrorism Prevention Amendment Bill 2021. This bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on the 10th of March 2021. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, this bill seeks to amend the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 to outlaw the payment of ransom to abductors, kidnappers, and terrorists for the release of any person who has been wrongfully confined, imprisoned, or kidnapped, and other related matters. Essentially, this bill seeks to substitute for Section 14 of the Principal Act a new section to read, anyone who transfers funds, makes payment, or colludes with an abductor, kidnapper, or terrorist to receive any ransom for the release of any person who has been wrongfully confined, imprisoned, or kidnapped is guilty of a felony and is liable on conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 15 years. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, hostage taking or kidnapping has become a fast and lucrative business in Nigeria. It has now remained the most virulent form of banditry in Nigeria and the most pervasive and intractable violent crime in the country. Kidnapping is on the increase in Nigeria, and it is prevalent across all the geopolitical zones. Some blame the rise of this criminal activity on poverty, religion, politics, deficiency of existing laws, unemployment, connivance of security agents, corruption, greed, among others. Our unemployed youths are also turning to kidnapping to get money as a survival strategy. Whatever the reason, it is most obvious that kidnapping in Nigeria puts everybody at risk, the rich and the poor, old and young, male and female, foreigner and indigent, expatriate and non-expatriate, traditional rulers, religious leaders, among others. A report compiled by the Financial Times and the USA Global Risk Consultancy in November 2019 indicates that Nigeria has the highest rate of kidnap for ransom of both local and foreigners in all of Africa, with kidnappers operating in each of its 36 states. The scourge of this menace has continued to persist till today. The reason behind payment of ransom is rooted on the fact that people easily identify with individual suffering. However, history has shown that even where ransom is proven to have been paid, the life or safe return of a kidnapped victim may not be guaranteed. The former Inspector General of Police, IGP Arase, once stated that the payment of ransom is counterproductive to the effort to check in kidnapping in the country. He states, and I quote, "As a law enforcement agency guided by rule of law and professional ethics, we do not under any circumstance encourage the payment of ransom to kidnappers or other criminals, as it is tantamount to rewarding crime and motivating other criminals to follow that path." The former Inspector General of Police called on Nigerians to desist from paying ransom to kidnappers, but should, on the contrary, provide adequate information to the police to enable them to do their job. Countries like the United States of America and the United Kingdom do not support payment of ransoms. Payment of terrorist ransom is illegal under the UK Terrorism Act 2000. While the USA adheres to a strict no concessions policy on the policy of ransom. The logic behind this position is as simple as it is compelling. In the words of David Cohen, a U.S. Treasury Department official involved in U.S. policy against terrorist financing, ransom payments lead to future kidnappings, and future kidnappings lead to additional ransom payments. And it all builds the capacity of terrorist organizations to conduct attacks. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, gut-wrenching as it may be, the wisest thing for government to do would be to keep an eye on statistics, because these show that buying out one victim strengthens and encourages abductors, kidnappers, and terrorist organizations, and thus puts many more people at risk. The continuous payment of ransom must not be encouraged. In addition, government should provide adequate security and strengthen the economy as a matter of urgency. accelerate its poverty alleviation programs, provide employment opportunities targeting youths who are mostly involved in abductions and kidnapping, strengthen our law enforcement agencies, and provide the necessary support to end the menace of kidnapping. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the proposed amendment discourages the payment of ransom in order to mitigate the rising scourge of kidnapping as it persists today. I therefore urge you to support the second reading of this bill and this legislative proposal. I so submit.